from the Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Next is the approval of the agenda. Peter. The Councilor Boyd. Seconded by Chairman Dave Parker.
Well, I think we should put something on there as a letter of recognition to, or letter of condolence to Dauphin, Noble. Yes. Yeah, the property or.
We can add it, after correspondence with, by 5B. Okay, anything else? Seeing nothing, for all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Count by nay, motion carried. Is there any emergency resolutions? Any emergency resolutions? Emergency resolutions. Seeing none? No. Is there any errors or omissions or corrections to the minutes of May 15, 2023? Errors, omissions, or corrections? Errors, omissions, or corrections? Seeing none, we'll put the vote, minutes approved. Next is correspondence. Thank you from Dave Robinson, who won the Building Unsung Hero Award at the Benton County Chamber of Commerce Award Ceremony. Next on the agenda is Councilor Dave Parker. Want to go fit with that?
Certainly, thank you, Chairman. As we're all aware of the terrible tragedy in Manitoba last Thursday afternoon, I understand that all of the deceased and injured were from a small town of 8,500 people from Dauphin, Manitoba. They were all from a single care facility. So I'm asking that we send a letter of condolence on behalf of this municipality to the municipality of Dauphin. So
I'll second.
Move second. Any questions? None. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Count by nay, motion carried. Next is the building inspector's report.
I salute.
Councilor Butler.
Second.
Second by Councilor Elder. Questions? See any? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Count by nay, motion carried. Next is the bylaw dog control officer's report. Councilor one.
I'll second.
Sounds like. Councilor Turner. Any questions? Any? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Count by nay, motion carried. Next is the development officer's report. So moved. By Councilor Bolos. Second by Councilor one. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Count by nay, motion carried. Next is the land use planning update. Bolton, would you like to go ahead and give us those in on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. My microphone doesn't seem to be working, so I'll just speak loudly.
Started working.
That's really something else.
So we have received our draft engagement strategy from our land use planning consultant Upland.
Oh, no.
Thank you. So we have received our draft community consultation strategy from Upland Planning and Design. We're currently reviewing it. I have it up right here. We're going to review the staff and then get some feedback to the consultants and then circle back with our planning advisory committee. That's the long and the short of the draft engagement strategy. Would you like me to, anybody have any questions, or would you like me to go on to the survey?
Any questions for Mr. Patel? Any? Go ahead. Open.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The council survey, we also just received a fairly simple survey. It's going to go around to each of you tomorrow. It's to be filled out online by yourselves, mostly with regards to key stakeholders that you believe are in, that you would identify in your areas, and also locations for possible community consultation meetings. So you'll be getting that link tomorrow. Anybody that needs a printed copy, we can need a printed copy for you.
Questions? Seeing none, thank you. Done. Move on, update on tenders.
Yep.
No.
Thank you. Salem Water Project, we received our bids last week. We reviewed them and also have had our consultant review them. Our consultant has indicated, we also believe, which that there's no reason why we shouldn't, why we wouldn't go ahead necessarily with our low bid, which is from PD Clifton out of Vanderknish. They had the low bid. I'll say that I'm very pleased with the kind of result that we had back. They were in line with the cost estimates that our consultant gave us, but a little bit lower. So, and they're consistent across three of them. Three of the four are very consistent. So I do believe that we have strong pricing that we can move ahead with some confidence about how this project's going to unfold and what it's going to look like possible. Any questions on the Salem water extension tender results?
We need a motion tonight to move ahead with this, or does that come from later?
I think you'd be looking to give a motion for council.
Okay, I'll make that motion to council, the council accept the bid of BD Clifton, the lowest bidder for the Salem Water Extension Project.
I'll second that.
Move second. Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Now by nay. Motion carried. Next is the East Dakota School.
Thank you. We also had tenders closed last week for the East Picture School demolition project. We likewise received 4 bids for that, and likewise had pretty consistent pricing across our 4 bidders. Our original budget estimate was in the sort of $1 million range. I know we thought at different times that it might end up between the $1 and $2 million mark. So all in all, we're pretty, we're sort of in the ballpark with it a little bit over what we thought it would be. We have reached out to the lower bidder, budget demolition. We're still reviewing overall packages, but likewise, I don't think there's any reason at this point why we wouldn't go ahead with budget demolition. They also sent me today a copy of their draft project plan. I haven't had a chance to get through it in its entirety, but at first glance, it seemed very consistent. This is a company out of Hamilton, Ontario that have all kinds of experience with this type of work. They have some experience in Nova Scotia as well. So they did CIB Halifax, the demolition. So they do, and they're licensed to work here in this province as well. So I would likewise say that there's no reason why we wouldn't go ahead with budget demolition as a little bidder that's project.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Is there, or there must be a timeline on when this would take place? Because I know the community is concerned with the time set there already.
Yeah, there is a time. Thank you for the question. They've indicated they're wrapping up another project nearby in mid-August. That would be a good time for them to start. They did say that they could start earlier if we require them to. The length of the project is going to be 40 to 48 weeks. So the better part of the year to get this completed in its entirety.
I have one more question, if I may, Mr. Chair. Is the plan still to grind up a lot of the brick and that kind of stuff rather than haul it all away? Is that part of this project?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Moore.
Yeah, my question is sort of the same as Barbara just said there. In the contract, the disposal of the materials from the school, do we know what they're going to do with it to make sure that they're not going to shove it somewhere that we're going to have a bigger problem because we've got a few going on right now?
Yes, yeah, they have a plan to dispose of hazardous materials. We had the hazardous materials assessment survey completed by Stantec, which fueled this latest round of the tender. And yes, this company is very familiar with properly disposing of that type of hazardous waste. They know that it's not accepted at our landfill site, and they do identify it in their project plan. So yes, they would be properly disposing of hazardous materials.
Councilor Dave Harper.
On the same vein, so in the tender document, was there a mention of removal of asbestos and was there a mention of removal of contaminated soil, fuel oil?
Yes, yeah, there was specific mention about asbestos and other hazardous materials that are found on site. The fuel oil, we did not complete an environmental assessment, so we would have no way of knowing the exact location of any environmental contamination there. However, they're going to have spotters on site to identify that type of material as it comes.
But okay, that's the follow-up question I made, Mr. Chair. Would they be entitled to go back and say, look, there's, you know, I have to spend $400,000 to remediate soil?
It's possible that they could come back with corrections if there's more material found that wasn't identified as hazardous materials assessment report. At which time we would look at what we're obligated to do as far as that environmental.
How would they find that?
It can be found in a number of different ways, as simply as smell. They find it by smell in a certain area, then identify it as a material in a certain area that where it hadn't been identified, and then that could necessitate us to complete
Cough up more money.
further investigation. Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Any Councilor Gore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm always interested in the lowest tender, but we have a tender that's $300,000 more that's picked a county company that lives in the next community and all his employees are from Pictou County. I have a problem giving it to somebody from Ontario when there's people right here at home can do the same job. And those people are in their community, do all the work around here, and I'm sure they have all the same qualifications, but I kind of fought for that truck deal there the other night. Wanted to go with the lowest tender, and I'll say, well, geez, make up your mind what you want to do, Chester. Well, I'm for going with the other tender on this one, just because it's a Pictou County firm and all the employees live in Pictou County. You can dispose of everything here, and would it be the same year to clean it up with the Hagen as with the budget? All through the chair to, okay.
Yes.
No, Verhagen's did have a much slower, I think in the order of 20 to 28 weeks.
So that's half the time. Okay, well, I'm still for the Pictou County firm. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Butler.
My question was in regards to timelines. And we're talking a bit about that now. Through no fault of these companies, this project has dragged on for a long extended period. And I'd hate to think that whoever we end up with to do the work isn't somehow responsible to have it completed within a certain time period. So that right now they're saying 26 or they're saying 48 weeks. I'd like to have, when we make our final decision, that we should be telling them that this project is to be finished by a certain agreed upon date, and that it's not going to drag on and on and on.
Councilor McKeel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is, how much money are we in for this so far between assessments and studies and everything else that's been done so far? I was wondering if you could put a price on that for me, please.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just trying to find the exact amounts. I think we received the Stantec hazardous materials assessment, and I do have a number for that. Just bear with me a second. Apologies. The Stantec is our consultant for the hazardous materials assessment report. Their fees were $10,784.12. And we bought a report from the previous interested party in the property. I find their exact amount as well.
It's less than 2,500.
Yeah, it was. Pardon?
$2,238.76.
Thank you.
So we're about 12, 15 grand right now, is what we have.
Correct. Yeah.
I, could echo, Councilor Dewar, sentiments about, supporting the Victor County business and supporting our residents that work in that company. It's, 300,000 is a difference, but, it's hard not to, want to support a local business and, so just like to have that in as well.
Marker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too agree with Councilor Dewar's stance on local, and I know there is a certain percentage that if it was because of the amount, I think it's over that the CEO told me that we can vary and give it to a local company, but I think this beyond that percentage. So 300,000 is a lot of dollars, a lot of taxpayer dollars too. So you've got both sides of an argument here, one for hiring a local company and the other the amount of money it is. But I agree with Don Butler, or Councilor Don Butler as well, that this has been on the go for a long time. And perhaps the way to break this juggernaut is to ask if that company that has the lowest bid can do it in the 26 weeks. Because if not, then we can look at, is there having the next lowest bid?
And may I clarify something? The exact number, Reagan was the next lowest bid. The low bid was a 45-week turnaround. And the Reagan bid called for a 24-week turnaround.
24, sorry, and that might be something, everybody else thinks it might be something to look at. But I have a bit of a problem putting $300,000 taxpayer money aside, because even though it is a local company, so what they have going for them is to do it sooner. And that might, if the other company can't do it in that, then that might give us a reason to look at preventing it.
Councilor Thompson.
I think the phone camera. Access.
You on the camera?
That's a good reason.
I'm looking for legal advice.
You put a motion on the floor.
Move it on. Sharing the contract.
Second.
It's one second. What's here? Get a motion to come out of in camera. With Council Thompson, second by Councilor Daypart. Back in regular. Okay. Councilor Watt.
Thank you. Actually, I had two questions. And the first, of course, safety for the students at the nearby school. Sure, don't have barriers or something, but I just want to make sure that safety is a high priority, because if that's going to start up in August, we're looking at that's construction coming down through the winter months, which is coasting time and all that sort of thing for those kids and everything else. So I'm just really worried about that. And secondly, is how do we pay for Brian's, direct to Brian, sorry. Is it through our reserves? Are we having more money to do this? A lot of money.
There's another case.
Yeah, I guess. You're saying budget time will have financing options or whatever available. Well, how we do that? So stay tuned, I guess, on that one. It is a big number. It definitely has a impact on these general operating budget. So.
Councilor Thompson.
I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we accept the lowest tender for this demolition of East Pickle School. Make that motion.
Move and second. Councilor Dorr.
How would we know if we were gonna put a tender out that it's like gonna go right across the country with a new rules that I never heard tell? Okay, I guess it's the first time it ever came to council that we had to talk about that. So pretty much that's what we did. So is there a set amount, like where's the threshold for that it goes right across the country for a tender versus goes across the province? You just said that, Brian. So where's it at?
So it was in the, actually, it was in the letter last, that we received the 12-month notice, and at the end, it had threshold amount. So when we advertise it, it's advertised through the portal, provincial.
So like that's $1 million, is it, or 500,000?
Yeah, it's a million. I can get the exact number, but so when we advertise it on that site, we have to pick the category that it falls in. So as soon as we pick it, that I think on their end opens it up to where it's distributed. Like we're advertising it on a provincial site, the provincial tender site, but I think it flags it for national.
And then they have another company in the province or something.
Then they had, as part of their tender, I believe they submitted, they have a valid workers' compensation certificate in Nova Scotia, so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? And we got a motion on the floor.
Instructions now. ETA thresholds. Was 366, 800. Yours is 360. That's updated. Updated.
Over the $1 million puts it in the hot stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next threshold is like international, so it's like 3 million. If it's over 3 million, it's like that could be international.
It's agreements that
They're signed by federal government with other nations, so.
all those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Now my nay.
Okay.
Yes. You door and boards. Or Elliot, sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay, motion carried. Next is the Falls Brook Culvert Water Project.
Thank you. So our McCollum Brook water design tender had been issued and has a deadline of June 28th. We do see it as encouraging that we received slightly lower than anticipated pricing for the Salem project, but we did our translations for costing estimates at least for this project as well. And as we have received some interest thus far, we expect to issue some addenda likely this week. And look forward to this month.
Questions? I'll pass it over to Council Wallace. Questions? Go ahead. Reason I brought this and asked for this to be on the agenda because we draw on Monday when I just forwarded, I believe that I get a phone call from John Fraser's office saying that they agreed to use $3.7 million funding the federal agreement. That's their portion of it. She thought it was 60-30-10. Not sure if that's the numbers that they're running now of it. That's a pretty good deal, 60-30-10.
Yeah, that's fine. Typically under that program, it's 40-33, 26 or 27. But
That's what she said, so, and that's why it's just looking for an update to get the RFP out there, the design, and just see where it falls, right? That's wondering about sending letters up to the residents, just to ask them if they're interested. I know they are. Be nice to see what the design is, and how many homes will hook up to, or be able to hook up to this. So.
Yeah, thank you. And that's certainly something we can do if it's the council's pleasure. The approach that we had taken with the high level scope of the project was to twin existing sanitary sewer, twin this water with existing sanitary sewer lines. So we could pretty quickly get, and I think we did get an idea, Brian, on the number of homes that would be serviced. Kevin had put that together, and it was over 100. That number right off the top of my head. But of that, those that could be serviced was pushing 200, I think. Yeah. But certainly something we could do with this council's pleasure. Get some more information, but the surveyor is the rest of it.
We can wait till we see. It's not much back. Okay. Good, that's all for me. Okay, we will move on. Number 9 says 244 John County Road flooding concern.
Yeah, I asked Logan to come and have a look at this. This is a situation. I see they must have settled it already, so that's great if they did. Or actually, I guess that's for us to determine, but this place is out in familiar with the John Campbell Road off the Little Harbor Road. There's a little house on the left-hand side of the John Campbell Road that the ditching is just, well, there's a brook there. I mean, not a brook, but a lake almost. It's so backed up, and it's say Logan had a look at it too, and we just. What I don't understand, I guess, is when, these people have to, the province coming in and leaving these people in dire straits like that. It's backing right into their basement every time there's a rain, they're getting flooded out. I mean, it's just terrible. It's something that should not happen in this day and age, and for the fix to be done simple if they would only do it. I did talk to the MLA Dunn's office today, and he's supposed to get in touch with the MLA for Kingston and get in touch with me to find out a few projects, but this is one of them. And another thing I just don't understand, we tax people for so much acreage on their land. But yet, a lot of these land is being taken by our transportation or whatever you want to call them today. And like, I've got different ones that, you know, the Thompson Road, they field, they're hay fields road. We got different, you know, the babies down in Chance River that's, they're half their pasture is taken up by the ditching and that sort of thing. So I just wonder, if people are paying taxes for the Department of Transportation to take over their land, and I think that's really wrong. But on this one here, we'd like to have a letter sent just asking the MLA, when he was in the opposition, Tim Houston turned around and said he was going to have something done about it. So I'd like a letter sent to Tim Houston himself, also to the whoever in transportation would be the best to send it to, and ask them, will they look after this and get something done? I mean, the black flies are becoming pretty, all this stagnant of water there, it's going to be a bad situation. I don't know, Logan, if you've got something to say on it, but
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Wells. I did attend the site last week, and it was pretty clear that there was a lot of standing water located there. And the south of it, speaking with Colin Warner and Councilor Wells, there's been a lot of discussion on what to do with the problems regarding it. And provincial staff have attended the site as well and reviewed it, but it doesn't sound like any action has been done this far. So if it's council pleasure, it can be issued some sort of a letter asking that it be some action be considered there for the site. So yeah, that's without doing a full detailed analysis of where we don't have any infrastructure in the area and the roads and no neighbor roads are currently owned by the municipality. We don't have much ability of records or detailed information for the area. So I guess I would just council, thanks, I'm happy to act on that. Did that answer your question, Councilor Blow?
yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we send a letter to the let's just say Tim Houston as the MLA and the whoever in transportation that you know, the engineer or the whoever we should that you know, vote the situation and ask them that it be fixed up and these people's concerns addressed.
Questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All by nay. Okay, thank you. Okay, nothing further come before processors. Then the meeting is adjourned. Okay, don't you know?
There is a.
I guess. Just.
Great, good evening. We'll call to order the financial services meeting for this evening. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we live in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. First, we'll have the approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Turner, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. Are there any emergency resolutions? Okay, seeing none. Move on to errors and omissions corrections to the minutes of May 15th. Are there any errors, omissions, corrections to the minutes of May 15th? Are there any errors, omissions, corrections to the minutes of May 15th? Seeing none, we'll consider those minutes approved. Next, we'll move on to reports. First, we have the Recreation and MPOW report. Pleasure, Calvin. Okay, so moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Wyden. Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. Next, we have the communication report for the month of May, been moved by Councillor Peter Boyles. Seconded by Councillor Parker. Questions or comments on the communications report? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just on that PACE program, do we have a date in July or is that the one that we held the council?
I believe it's gonna be in the middle, I think, I want to say it's 17th, but it's somewhere, yeah, we're in the middle of July.
Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have the emergency services report for the month of May. Moved by Councillor Palmer. Seconded by Deputy Warden Murray. Any questions or comments on the emergency services report? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have the fire inspector's report for the month of May. Moved by Councillor Boyles, seconded by Councillor Elliott. Any questions or comments on the fire inspector's report? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have the warden's report for the month of May. Moved by Councillor Dewar. Seconded by Councillor Thompson. Go ahead, Warden.
I'm not trying to cut out questions or any questions, I want to entertain them, but I was asked, we were at a meeting this morning, CEO and myself, at the Wellness Center. Board meeting, the first one that we've held for quite a while. And as usual, I've spoke up many times about increasing the municipal contribution. That has to stop because we have two other rinks in this county to maintain as well, and we're in sort of a different group than the rest of the municipalities, some which have dropped another rink and therefore are paying for one instead of paying for the other one, and sometimes less. But you know, and I just let them know that we really can't handle anymore. Probably another 100,000, 200,000 on each year for municipalities. And it looked like we were on a good path. We were about 200,000 ahead. It appears now that a lot of that might disappear very quickly due to high power costs again. I asked them to look at why those power rates are going up. They're not burning anymore, like the ice or the heat water. You know, there's got to be a reason. So they did say they were putting in another piece of equipment today because their voltage is up and down so much. So that's what needs to be done. We need to find out why, or else it's going to come back to us again that we need more money to get through the next year. But anyway, they felt I was being too negative. I think so. They wanted me to bring forward tonight, or they asked if I would some of the good things that are happening in Columbus. And so they are much busier, what I call upstairs in the rooms where we had our volunteer awards banquet, and we were there for something else. Climate change summit, but something else under this municipality.
The partnership, partnership.
Okay, I thought there was another one they said was billed to us, grants, the grants info session, yeah. So we have been using the facility some, but so have Canadian Blood Services, Living Church, Weeks Construction, Rotary Club Musical. They're getting quite a bit of business from the fact that the cost center is shut down. So they're one of the locations. Harness racing judges, or some of these have 20 or 30 of them. Some have 300. I think ours is a volunteer bank, so it's 300. Roots for Youth AGM 160. But there's a whole list here. If anybody wants this list, I can send it to them. The Everyday House Foundation had 350 there. So these all bring in money to help pay the bills. So the funding from those rooms is up significantly. They have a new employee, Jenna, I believe is her name, and doing an excellent job of trying to keep these rooms full. So that should help some, but it's really hard to offset those big power increases. And the other thing I want to mention is that company by the name of JCI has been contracted to do a whole lot of things there in the building that weren't done when it was sort of first opened to sort of commission it. Which basically means that the systems are working together instead of apart. Sometimes in there it was almost like more wood in the fire for leaving the door. Two systems working against each other. So it's hopeful. In fact, this company has guaranteed that if we don't get the energy savings, then they will pay the bill. So there's a certain amount of energy savings that have been contracted for that they have to pay for if they don't show up. I just wanted you to be up to date that we're in better shape, but we're not there yet in terms of not having to come back here and ask for a bigger and bigger increase every year. Thank you, Madam Chair, and if there's any questions on that or anything else, I'll entertain.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Warden. Councilor Palmer.
Madam Chair, just one, what is the total deficit? 1.3? All those dollars are paying?
1.2, we were at 995,000 for quite a while. I think about close to 1.2, I think, right now. You know, that to me is 200,000 higher than it should have been, but that's where we're at right now.
I thought the board would ever ask for 1.3 for 3 consecutive years.
They did, but that hasn't been approved.
That's been-
To the best of my knowledge, no, I missed the last meeting when I was sick, so I'm saying absolutely positive that they had this, there's another board now called a community board, I think it is, so we're the governing board, the ones from each municipality that really have to approve any spending. But the community board now looks after a lot of what's going on in the building that we don't need to therefore spend on.
I said this before, council, and I'll say it again. You shouldn't have ice in there in June, July. You don't take enough revenue, your power bills are so high, so you just subsidize the usage rate. Put it in first of August, and you can have your hockey scopes and everything like that, crushing you coming in. It had, that 2 months is killing your plant. That's, it's heat of the summer and everything like that. So it takes a lot of energy. Like that, so you never see, wait till you see the power bills in July. The other thing is, anytime I'm in there, there's nobody on the ice. I mean, nobody. Wow, all the lights are on that green. So we should like they only have ice in one arena now. That's what was arena. I was in there the other night. Nobody around. All the lights are still off. I don't know why. I know the total rate. So our last rental where get rentals in between, shut the lights off. It's not going to save a whole lot. We'll save some. But my thing is, I just don't think that we should put ice in, leave ice in. It's just too costly.
You'd like to talk about Mr. Warden?
Yeah, I think I said that to them about 100 times in there from the time I first started to the time till I gave up after a while, it wasn't gonna happen. Most of them seem to think you have to have it all summer. But I come back to it's same as trying to run the freezer in the summertime with stuff.
You want to follow up, yes?
Yeah. Before we always had the budget. Well, so I haven't seen one in a couple of years now. Is there any more budgets? So we get the budgets and can that be passed on to the councilors?
Sure. We have here, right?
You know how they used to do the forecasting and things like that, the actuals.
Don't see any problems in the budget. Oh, I don't know, but I mean, of the budget, they have a budget.
Yeah.
So we should be able to send
I
that.
think that was probably when we had the stadium.
It could well have been, but they still do have the budget.
But I think it was a bad mistake. That was for 150,000, they do the county work, how we pay for the county. And the plus they have the expertise that you need to run. Anyway,
I would like to add, Madam Chair, that somehow our voice isn't being heard when I speak up on 1 of 6. 1 of 5, sorry, Wes was not there voting on these things, and so a couple of them are supportive, but nobody else is really concerned because their cost has actually gone down from what they had when they had drone rigs there. And then Victor's case, it's about the approval and whatnot. We have discussed that some, but forgetting what was the other concern you brought up. Okay, now I thought there was something else back before that, but that's all right. But I just wanted you to be up to date, and I agree fully that we shouldn't have their rate for those 2 months. I haven't managed to make any headway in it at all.
Okay, a few more questions here. Counselor Elliott?
I like attending events with you, but in all honesty, I wasn't there turning the sod at the pickleball field. I don't know what's there, but that's me. So
I get
you
credit
were
for it.
supposed to extend that I couldn't be there, my regrets, because I would work all day.
I assume you're on the bus. The bus and discounts are really there than that.
No, I wasn't there.
Now, again, well, sorry, I was trying to give you credit, that's all. I will try next time.
Most times you leave me out, this time you put me in.
Thanks up for one thing.
Downs and scales, yes. Counselor Boyles?
Yeah, I was just wondering, when we were up at that summit there, the gentleman that's running the place down, was talking to me. And I asked him, coming to council, he said, he won't come to council unless he's asked. Why don't we ask him here and see what he has to say? Because he seems like a real nice man. I don't know.
Yeah, we can certainly invite him here. I don't see any problem with that. We don't control the whole show. Obviously, we're one vote at a time, like I said, but now he can come and explain. They want a chance for our council to hear more positive stuff, so we can come spread positive stuff, but we need to ask them hard questions too. I told them we got other rings too like that.
Okay. Counselor Watton?
Thank you, just, do you know how much gas it's used in some time?
No, I don't have, I could get it from the Burnaby Media, but I don't
I
have,
think it might be worthwhile.
I don't have the record of
I think that's the only facility in the county that has, I know there's hockey schools and that sort of thing going on. And then I was concerned that, I don't know, if they take the ice out, excuse me, in say June and put it back in August, is it really worth their while? Like, how much will they save by doing that? Because I'm sure there's a cost associated. If we have to pay.
I think it's still significant savings. Yeah, there is, Randy, you know more about putting ice in there than I do, but you might lose 1 week of your savings. Then you still get 7 or 8 other weeks.
I think overall for me, the wellness center is the building I like to see in the county. And at the end of the day, that is we do own that ring. We have ownership of that ring together, other municipalities. And I know we want to help the other rings, but I think the wellness center is, something we agreed to have in this county. And just some of the things you mentioned there tonight, it is bringing a lot of people into the county. And I think we need more positive, again, I said this before, we need more positive information coming up about what's really going on there. And we bring it to the county, and we can use things again this year as another example. They're getting PR across the country now, the things Grand Slam down here. So that does bring in huge revenues, not just for the wellness center, but also for the county. So I think we have to remember those types of things when we're discussing the wellness center.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Watton. Counselor Turner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just in keeping with Councilor Watton's thoughts. When I was on the board for the cost center, there was a study done regarding the economic spin-offs of the cost center and picked up. Has there ever been a study done on the economic spin-offs of the wellness center? So as she had mentioned, Pinty's coming here, hotels, restaurants, all those things create value in our community. Has there ever been anything studied regarding what the economic spin-offs are of the wellness center? So I'm looking for a net value of, right? So there's a deficit being run, but there's a net value to the county. I just wonder if that's ever been addressed.
I don't know if it has, but I do know that I think it was Mayor Jim Ryan this morning was it brought up, or was it his CAO? It was Kyle Swanwhite, I think it's CAO, but Tom Becker brought that very subject up this morning. And so I think it is going to move towards something like that. And what I'm always looking for there is a balance between, I'm not they say I'm too negative, but I'm not trying to be negative toward the place, but, you know, it's a big asset to this county, but we also have to balance, the other side of the cost, especially in terms of our other bricks and stuff. You know, there is a balance here somewhere between all the good things it does and trying to keep the cost down. That's what this JCI and everything's about, is trying to keep the costs reasonable.
Yeah, there was no implication to warrant.
No, I just think.
I just think that we have to move forward.
Yeah.
And look at the net benefit to the whole county economically. I mean, the deficits are being run, but there's a net value that's to be investigated.
I think that will happen because of what was said this morning, to follow through on that.
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure, make everybody clear, I'm not against the wellness center or anything like that. Just that there is some stuff that you can do for cost savings, and I know when we got those reports before, the revenue for the wellness center for June, $16,000 price rentals. The power bill was $97,000 for that one month. So unless they have a lot of rentals during the month, you could save quite a bit of money just by taking the ice out for those 2 months. Doesn't take too long to take the ice out, too long to put the ice in. But that's what's, you know, that's what would help reduce deaths, because we can't kind of keep growing. Like 1 point was down to 6, 9 or something like that, 700. And all of a sudden now we're back up to 1.2. So it's, you can't really get too far under control. You have to measures to bring the balance.
Okay, Councilor Ward, you have a rebuttal for that.
Just, the only thing is that you have to remember, we just went through 3 years ago, and they didn't have the chance to do a lot of things at the wellness center either, but any other, like the cost center and everything else we haven't had. So I think what's happening with the deficit is scary, but at the same time, it was to be expected.
Okay. Okay, seeing no more questions or comments, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have accounts paid for the month of May 2023. Moved by Deputy Warden Murray. Seconded by Councilor Kerr. Any questions or comments on the accounts paid for the month of May? Go ahead, Councilor Thompson.
Halfway down the first page, certain, just by date, yes. It would be, there's a couple of it. First one's at Amtech, $76,811.89. What type of work are they doing for that money?
So they're doing all the electrical work at each of the sites. So they're doing all of the cabinet installs.
And just down from that, it looks like there's two checks or 2 months worth of IVAL for $32,200. What are they doing?
So they're doing the business development, enterprise, I guess, what we call it, so trying to build secure, larger clients for the network.
Have they been successful yet?
No. It's been some, yeah, but they are talking to a number of companies, some in county, some out. Once again.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other further questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have our deed transfer tax for information purposes only. So you take a significant jump from April to the season for home sales. Any questions or comments on that? Fantastic. Okay, we'll move along to taxes receivable report. This is for the month of May, and just keep in mind the taxes for the interim amount are due on June 15th. Yeah. 2 weeks there of significant payments, I would assume, Karen? Yes. Questions or comments? Seeing none, move on to number 6, handled lease by district. First, we have District 2, service grants. We have Little Harbor Pioneer Cemetery Association, $1,000 for maintenance of cemetery. We have Little Harbor Pickleball Club in the amount of $2,000 to assist with the purchase of AED. Little Harbor Presbyterian Church, $10,000, replace 4 doors. Little Harbor Community Center, $10,000, hall renovations. And Bethel Presbyterian Church, $1,700 for audiovisual equipment purchase for a total of $24,700. Okay, moved by Councillor White, seconded by Councillor Elliott. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have District 4, Bellevue and Extension Cemetery Association, $2,600 for maintenance on 2 cemeteries. West Branch and Area Community Association, in the amount of $1,193 for purchase of AED machine. River John Legion, Branch 109, $900 for maintenance. Campbell Point Cemetery, $1,600 for maintenance on cemetery. Mountain Road Cemetery, $1,000 for maintenance. River John and Area Recreation Association, $3,400 for operating expenses. River John and Area Historical Society, $3,000 for new windows. Riverbank Cemetery, $1,600 for maintenance of cemeteries. River John's Community Action Society, $1,500 for maintenance, security, 2 dogs. Helping Hand Lodge, number 34, River John, $1,600 to refurbish 100 floors. St. John the Baptist Anglican Church, $1,000 for roof replacement. Pony River Community Center, $3,744 for electrical upgrades to hall. Melville Seafoam Community Hall, $1,600 for kitchen renovations. West Branch Hall Streetlight, $40 for the yearly cost, and the Salem United Church Streetlight for $40 for the yearly cost, for a total of $24,817. Moved by Councillor Elliott. Seconded by Councillor Turner. Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have District 5, Bethel Presbyterian Church, number $14,000 for accessibility improvements. Lionsbrook Hall Society, $6,100 hall improvements. Elmfield Community Center, $4,100 hall improvements. Scottsburg Fire Department, $8,120 for covered shelter for pond. Elmfield Hall Street Light, $40 for the yearly cost, and the Meadowville Hall Street Light for $40 for the yearly cost, for a total of $32,400. Moved by Deputy Warden Murray, seconded by Warden Harper. Any questions or comments? Yes, go ahead.
On the Bethel Church, accessible improvements, that's an elevator, but they haven't put in the total cost of $50,000. In the Scotland Fire Department, they're putting in the covered shelter, so people can fish at the pond that is accessible since Florida closed. We think that certainly have room for there, so that's what we're doing.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Any other further comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Okay, so that's our municipal service grants. Moving on to our appointments. We have the first appointment is for Alyssa McIver. She's a North Grove Education Center student for the Climate Change Advisory Committee. Moved by Councillor Boyles for appointment.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Turner. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, Warden Parker.
I just wanted to say on behalf of being there at those meetings, was as the chair, but how good it is to see now we have a student from North Nova, as well as I think 2 from Northumberland, so it gives us some balance. And we're hoping that we can pick up not necessarily students, but young people. I don't know where you got young enough, because all we're young stuff, but we people up to 30 even, would be good, because sometimes you say the students, it's nice to have them, but after a year or 2, they're off the university or whatever. So if you know of anybody who has some strong feelings toward climate change problems that we're all facing, they don't have to be citizens, like I say, if they're, in your books, young. Then, you know, certainly, refer them to the committee or Peter, and, we'd love to have 2 or 3 more. We have a more balance in the room between young and not so young. That's a comment I want to make, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Warden. All right, seeing no further comments or questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. I think we'll deal with the 2 sheet valuers together. We have Alan Keith for District 2 and Willie Ferguson for District 3. Moved by Councillor Wadden, seconded by Councillor Dewar. Any questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Dewar.
I know I asked this before and I got an answer. What does the sheep valuer do?
So sheep were to come out, they have to put a value on those sheep if they were to be sold.
If they come out.
Or if they got loose from a farm. I was a farmer, my sheep got out and they were relentlessly getting out all the time. You have to put a value on it to be sold.
And it's mostly because of dogs and bears and coyotes.
If they're destroyed as well. There's value on that livestock.
That they also have to determine whether it was wild, bears, coyotes, whether that's the dog. That's the dog or unhawked.
So,
The civic set of skills.
so if the value of the sheep is $100 and that person loses that sheep, how do they get, why do they get reimbursed for? Why is there a value put in the sheep in the first place? They get money back, something like it.
I believe if there, depending on what the scenario is, the legislation does allow for them to be compensated for that sheep, and I think Councilor Parker alluded, there is, if it's domestic, then the municipality pays the loss.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So it's all under, it's legislation, it's an old legislation that's there, but
Especially in District 3, and you remember the town that we're out, my neighbor, that's, yeah. Okay, Board Member.
Thank you.
I just wanted to speak on that history part of it. This is one of those ones, sort of like the stagecoach, you know, that we haven't taken off. But it still does come into play now, and there still are a few, not very many, but a few large sheep farmers left in the county, and we have more predators than ever, I think. More people seeing black bears around. I hear about it every day in here. Coyotes, a lot of the, not so much on the sheep, but foxes and raccoons, everything. So we have a lot of predators. And so this is still important. These 2 individuals I know about are both very good individuals that know what they're doing. Every now and then there'll be a call on, not very often, but when they are called, it's nice to know you have good people. And not everybody has a sheep factory in their district. So by having one on each side of the county, they can call on them for whatever district, I believe we can anyway, we don't need to stay within the district.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. All right, moving on to number 9, we received a course, or I guess a request from the town of Pictou to reduce participation on joint boards. We have a memo here. Concerning, so we received a request from the CEO of the town of Pictou asking if council would consider reducing the number of elected representatives on some joint committees, namely the Hector Arena Commission and the Cairn Watershed Protection Committee. The town had a meeting and kind of went through all of their positions, or I guess appointments of boards that they sit on. I was speaking with a counselor for the town, just kind of for clarification with that, and asked about that. I guess the explanation was they're a small council and there's lots of boards, and I guess as Brian said here, the determination is really at the discretion of council and how it wants to appoint its members. The town of Pictou technically controls the number of people appointed to the Watershed Committee. The Hector Arena Commission should have a set of incorporating documents that should set the number of representatives, and those would need to be updated.
The one comment I would make on the watershed committee, I would say we probably are overrepresented there. We have 2 council members and the staff attending it.
it, all one elected, I think would be fine on that. The Hector Green, I think, is a different one, like it's incorporated, so it's the original bylaws say that's it. You have to, yeah, there's some. But the watershed one, they can. See.
Thank you for that. Ward Parker?
Yeah, this one kind of came as a surprise to me because I wasn't really sure what the story was behind it. But I think on the Hector Arena, especially where, you know, we put a lot of dollars in there each year as we do into the Thorburn ring. So I think it's important that we have, is it two we have now? I think it's important that we have those two.
Plus the citizen.
We get the two counselors so that, you know, there might be the case that one's sick or can't make it.
Representatives from the town and the county, of which one is the elected, one is the citizen at large from each.
Yeah, two from our council, so I wouldn't want to see it any less than that, because like I said, if one happened to be sick or away, you know, we didn't have any from council, we'd have maybe from public. So that one to me is more important. I don't know how important the other one is, but I can accept there being one. At one time, going back when I got first on council, that was a big issue. That was a hot issue down pretty sure Bayview area. About that watershed area, what you could or couldn't do in it. But I think maybe that's changed now. I think more of their wells are closer to in the town or whatever, but I don't hear much on that anymore. But you used to hear a lot about concerns when you could or couldn't do with your land down there. I'm in favor of reusing the one, you know, for the watershed area, but not for the, I think that's basically what our CEO was saying.
Council Parker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Back 15 years ago, before we had any growing cows in the watershed that were hectare draws of water, yeah, it was a very controversial topic. And could be a game, we have to be careful here. Don't want it down so thin that we don't have a representation. Yeah, the time of hectare draws their water, they spend that entire peninsula. So it's very important that what happens on that. So, Hector on the Hector question, I think we're fine the way we are. As long as the Hector Arena is being well managed, and it has been now for a number of years, it's not a problem. But it happened before when I was chair there, and it will happen again, unfortunately, where we get a weaker person for the management. Then they start running a lot of red ink. You need to have good people with representation on there, help to manage that. So I also, I'm not, just because they have a small council, not mean we should be getting representation. You?
Okay, any further questions or comments? So what is your pleasure? Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As one that sits on the water committee, I can see where we're going to represent. That's the meeting only lasts for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Really nothing much that I can take that council to report on. I think I would step off it. Someone's asking, and there is, it's in her here, we'll understand. She lets you stay on, but it's whatever. It's just format.
Can be, for sure.
Watershed committee one, representative.
Would you like to further add in, they asked specifically about the Hector Arena. Would you like to include that in your motion as well?
That's a separate issue. Watershed.
Okay, we'll do them separately. Okay, seconded, okay, that we reduce our, I guess, participants or participation or in the joint board down to one. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion by nay, motion carried. We're going to deal with the Hector Arena separately. Go ahead.
Make a motion that we maintain the, our representation on the board at the Hector Arena, 2 elected representatives and 1 public alert.
Okay, moved and seconded by Councillor Dewar. Any further questions or comments? I'm sitting, go ahead.
Clarify, you said you were speaking with council, and is someone from your council hoping to step back? You know, is that what they're trying to do?
I think from my talk at Sobeys, it was just a quick little, like, how you guys are busy kind of thing. I think that there's a lot of committees, some of them are sitting on 8, 9 committees, and I think it's just kind of, they're trying to evaluate where they're can be most useful and where they're really needed kind of thing. I don't want to speak for them, but that's kind of what I took from the conversation.
Is it 2 representatives?
There is 2. We have Melinda McKenzie and Sean McNamara. And then we have from the town, Craig Clark, that's on from the town.
They 1 council, 1 town representative, 1 county representative.
Yeah. As some of it sits on both of those committees, the watershed and the Hector Arena, I feel that tonight, these motions and the approvals, hopefully are the right choice. I feel like the watershed is definitely was the right choice, and as someone that sits on the Hector Committee and its past chair, I just feel that it's we need that banter. We need that more than just 1 representative there. I feel like it's necessary to have that representation there for sure. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary nay, motion carried.
Chair, if I might,
Yes,
I will step away from that committee. I'm good.
okay, so we need a motion for that.
I think you should say.
Me too, me too. No, it's in District 3. Do we need a motion for that or leave them?
You can, we'll cover it off with resolution at the meeting, reducing to the 1 point.
Thanks, Wayne. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for your service. Get your plaque, yeah. Okay, moving on. Councillor Parker, we would ask for the request for free fishing weekend to be rescheduled due to the extreme fire risk. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was approached by an individual, they had scheduled their main fundraiser for the year is a fishing derby. Supposed to be able to do that first weekend in June. Of course, the Nova Scotia will completely close. Of course, we're open game, go forward. According to this individual, the majority of people they attract are people that do not have a fishing license. Couldn't fish except on that special weekend. So the request was to ask the provincial government, Department of Natural Resources and Renewables to reschedule that free fishing weekend. As we know, we've had excellent rains. I can't say too much. I don't believe that. The last couple of weeks. Of course, they're opening, but in order for them to attract a good crowd, they have to be able to advertise that don't need a fishing license to participate. So the request is to ask the province to reschedule that weekend as soon as possible.
Okay, do you have a seconder or do you want to make that?
I'll make that.
Okay, okay. Seconded by Councillor Elliott. Right, number, big one. Any further comments or questions on asking for this fishing derby to be rescheduled?
We're asking for the free weekend of fishing.
The free wish, yes, okay. Not the same thing. No, okay. All right, seeing no further comments or questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary nay, motion carried. All right, community announcements. Do you have any community announcements? Go ahead. Deputy Warden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Scottsburn Fire Department, I guess in community, they're having an emergency meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for discussion fire hall. Everyone in the state is welcome. Us public is to deal with the news that we got, over the weekend about, correctional services, that someone out, or I guess they're all through their time, and they're being, being
At least,
be able to live in the Scottsburn area is, citizens are very, very concerned about that because, this club is not very good. So with that, way. So anybody that's, wants to come and, show their support for this night at 7:00. I'm not sure what the agenda is, or seeing people, hopefully are gonna be there, but there's certainly lots of questions. I know why. And this individual came from Ontario, not from here. So the big concern in our community. Thank you.
thank you very much, Dr. Marbury. There's lots of concern about that. So I'm sure that'll be a very well-attended meeting. Go ahead, Gordon Parker.
Okay, same meeting or same night, same time. I've planned my repairs meeting. I might be getting near the end of the list of us, but I would much rather be at the meeting in Scottsburn, but we already had the schedule ahead of time, so Wayne and I will take good care of it. So the repairs meeting for District 6 will be tomorrow night at 7:00. We have lots of expertise there on high-speed internet. Anybody that has any questions. I'm not expecting as big a crowd as what will be in Scottsburn for sure, because it is a bad situation out there right now. But if you got a choice whether to go to my repair meeting or go to Scottsburn, I suggest. Thank you.
Some choice.
Yeah.
Choice, yeah. Go ahead, Councilor Turner.
Just to follow up on ratepayers meetings, we're having ours Mr. Date at the Abercrombie Community Center on Wednesday evening at 6:00.
Great, okay. Councilor Dewar.
Same thing, Wednesday night, 7:30, to read the fire hall.
Quite the circuit. Okay, Councilor Thompson.
I guess I might as well, chime in too. I guess the garden meeting tomorrow night. So if anybody's got a little extra time, want to go for country drive. Down the garden meeting at 7:00, and then on Wednesday, we're on road show at 11.
Jeez, busy week. Go ahead, Councilor Parker.
It's not enough, so it's kind of June 10th. It picked it up across the transmission, now the fundraising event at Fraser's Ben Burn in Pleasant Valley. I was able to attend for a period of time, I didn't know it yet, so. I didn't see Councilor Dewar there, he must have came after I left. Yeah, I figured he would be, but it's very successful, I think there's something like 300 people paid admission. And they raised $9,135 to go towards the garden construction. Very, very successful. You?
Yes, that was yours. Yeah, no, I heard it was awesome. And a great fundraiser. Councilor Turner, you had something to add?
Yeah. Fortunately, I wasn't able to make it, to the announcement in Trenton, but I'm sure everybody's aware of it. I had some family obligations. But I'm on the board there at the Pictou County Sports Hall of Fame, and as everybody's probably aware that there's a new building being put in Trenton. Paraphernalia and all the merchandise that's at the center now is going to be moved down there, so it's going to be quite a new building down in Trenton. It's a brand new building, and so it's been a lot of work. B has done a lot of work on it. So anyway, I just thought I'd make sure that everybody else knows that that's happening. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. That's it. That is a big, it's gonna be big for the community for sure. Gordon Parker.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. I just want to add to what Councilor Turner said. I was there on Saturday morning, and there was a big turnout for Saturday morning. And the place was packed down there in the Trenton Mechanics. I think this will be a big thing for the county. That Sports Heritage Hall of Fame has sort of been like an orphan. They've had to go around looking for a place to stay. And that federal building's always threatened to be sold, which will put the road on the street. One time we looked at putting it in the wellness center just along the walkway going in, but we're only gonna be able to display about 10% of their stuff. Now they're going to just be able to display everything. And in a much more organized fashion. I got to meet some people down there that were famous athletes, here in Victor County, one Dave Mason, I think was in the 1956 Olympics. And, I forget the name, but anyway, there was a couple other people there, in their 90s that were, that meant a lot for them to be there. So it is a big deal for the county. It's gonna be right on the main street, in Trenton. So it's a big deal for Trenton, but a big deal for the county. The other thing I wanted to mention, Madam Chair, I had the mic here, at, Luzerne, in, Elwood Fraser's farm, their property in, Pleasant Valley. There will be a horse pull with horses from all over the province, this Saturday coming, 1 o'clock. Approximately 1 o'clock it'll start. I don't know whether his family is a fundraiser for Dick this or not, but, Mary, Elwood's widow insisted that it go ahead. They've had it there before, and that we not cancel it. So, I was talking to somebody on the weekend and said that they are gonna have it. They have a fair number of horses coming, to that. So, sorry for adding on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Counselor Elliott, finish it up.
River John and District Wines are having their annual chicken barbecue Sunday, July 7th. It starts at 11 o'clock. Prices are 15 and 10. And it's takeout only, but all the picnic tables will be set up outside if you're ready to sit there and enjoy your meal.
It's gluten free, I hope so. I hope so. Sounds delicious. That is such a big crowd every year. Okay, seeing no more community announcements, it's we come to the end of our meeting. I'll call for adjournment. Thank you very much. Here's